Welcome to Vichy in France for the first of this season's 3 Sprint Canoe World Cups, which also provides for the organisers a dress rehearsal opportunity for next year's Olympic qualifying and World Championship regatta. As for the weather, it's unseasonably chilly at 8 to 11 Celsius, with the racecourse on the River Allier full and fast flowing. Competing this weekend, a good many of the world's best flatwater paddlers eager to gauge their pre-season form. And this is a major task for the French Federation, as Cyril Nivelle, the competition's technical director, now explains.
In Vichy, we are very pleased with the number of participants. There are 47 nations present. In terms of delegations, we are approximately 430 athletes. This represents 650 accreditations. For us, the goal is reached, particularly with the forthcoming World Championships in Vichy next year. The tower at the arrival was renovated this year, and it now corresponds to international standards. The second thing we put in place is an anti-wave system, which can make it fair for the athletes. We do not control nature, so we have the disadvantages of a natural basin. However, we have some safeguards, because the city of Vichy is working with us. They own the dam and are capable of controlling the basin level, as there is no outlet. For the French Federation of Canoe and Kayak, Vichy is a historic city. It is the first place of whitewater, and today is a versatile site that can have the whitewater and flatwater nearby. The slalom track is older, dating from the 1970s, is closed for renovation and will be reopened just before the World Championships. It will thus complement whitewater and flatwater in Vichy. Our stars are here. Mathieu Goubel is present after 2 silver medals at the World Championships in Canada. The K4 medalist of World Championships last year is starting with some changes. Philippe Collin, the pillar of the boat, is still here, but there are also some new faces.
So sit back with myself, David Goldstrom, and enjoy the best of the action from the weekend. We begin with the first of our Olympic categories, the women's kayak over 500 metres, 2 legends in the lineup. In 7, Josefa Idem for Italy. In 4, Katrin Wagner-Augustin for Germany. A pretty good start, and the best start, 3 from the right of your picture, the 23-year-old Russian Anastasia Sergeyeva. Wagner-Augustin a little slow off the blocks, and at the halfway stage, in fact, over a second off the pace. But here at the business end of the race, it's the 4-time Olympic gold medalist Katrin Wagner-Augustin powering her way through ahead of Sergeyeva, with at the top of the picture there Portela taking 3rd place, the world bronze medalist from last year in Canada taking the bronze. And Wagner-Augustin showing her good early season form. She was the silver medalist last year behind Katlyn Kovacs in Dartmouth in Canada. So now for the first of our 1,000 metre finals, the individual kayak with the world and European champion Max Hoff in lane 5. Right next to him is Anna van Covenden, the Olympic 500 metre champion from Athens, and after a pretty steady start, Max Hoff powering his way through to lead as we approach the finish line from Ale Urenia in lane 7. Van Covenden, who led at the halfway stage, fading and then recovering into 3rd place there. An interesting race for Britain's Tim Brabants, the Olympic champion in his return season, to see just how effective Max Hoff is. So Germany, Belarus, Canada, the 1, 2, 3 in the individual K1 over 1,000 metres. Kayaks to canoes, and the individual final over 1,000 metres for the Canadian singles, with last season's World Championship gold, silver and bronze medalists all involved. Mathieu Goubel over in lane number 9 on the far side. The world silver medalist not involved at the moment is Sebastian Brendel, the world bronze medalist for Germany, powering away as we go towards the half distance, but being chased down very strongly by the world champion Vadim Menkov of Uzbekistan. And Menkov coming through to lead with under 500 metres to go. Vilenchek on the near side there for Germany, in just about 3rd place ahead of the Spaniard Jose Luis Buza. And coming to 750 metres, great counter-attack there by the 22-year-old German, who's now gone from half a canoe down to half a canoe up at the line. And Germany also in third place, thanks to Thomas Willenjek, their former Olympic champion, finishing ahead of Jose Luis Buza, with from lane 7, Dizanis Haradza of Belarus completing the top 5. Good effort from Brendel, who hopes one day to emulate the great Andy Dittmar. So that's the result, victory for Germany, but Vadim Menkov subsequently disqualified. His boat was underweight, so everybody else moves up a place. So to the final of the kayak doubles, and a very quick start, quick blades there on the far side by Vincent Lecroubier and Cyril Carré of France. Cyril, who used to paddle with Philippe Collin, they had a lot of success. They were world champions in 2007, and also coming strongly now, the German partnership of Andreas Ile with Martin Holstein in the bow. It was Ile and Wagner who took the Olympic title, so this partnership for Germany doing very well. Also going quickly, 2 from the bottom of your picture there, the Cubans, Torres and Montalvo, who are being challenged now for third place by the Slovenians, Luro Leban and Rok Kuk. As we come to the finish now, it's the Germans very quick in the last quarter there. They've really powered away from the French on the far side, and the Slovenians have got the better of the argument with the Cubans to just snatch third place away from the Cubans as they cross the line there. But impressive paddling by Martin Holstein and Andreas Illy for Germany. Indeed, 42.66 the time for Germany 2 in the last quarter. Already under starters' orders at the top of the regatta course, the finalists for the C2 Canadian doubles, that's 2 men in a canoe. And away we go. Very even start, but quickest away, in fact, Ignatov and Shatil on the far side for Russia, but also quickly on the near side, Zeles and Varga for Hungary, who you should see in a moment in the green canoe on the near side in lane 1. The Bogdanovic brothers, the Olympic champions from Beijing, just beginning to find their rhythm. And here are the Olympic champions powering through and going past the first and now the second of the 2 Polish partnerships to take the victory. And in second place, Wojcinski and Grabowski of Poland from 7, ahead of their teammates Szczynski and Rinkovic, who took third place. And the Hungarians just outsped and finishing in 4th. Final of the flying K4s. All eyes, 2 from the right, on the Olympic, world and European champions from Belarus. But Germany it is who've made the quickest start, ahead of France, just beyond them there, with Sébastien Jouvet and Philippe Collin in the stern of that boat. They took silver medals last year at the World Championships, and now in this reorganised French 4 with Arnaud Ibois and Etienne Hubert. But it's Germany powering away. Marcus Gross, Norman Brockel, Tim Wiescotter and Hendrik Bertz, and they are away. The French being overhauled by the Russians and Belarus as we come to the line. The French only 4th, but a dominant performance there by Germany. Indeed, gun to tape, pillar to post, never headed the Germans in a very quick time. 2:48. That compares with 2:57, the World Championship winning time of last year. Just underlines how fast the conditions are out on the water today. 9 times out of 10 in the K4 500 metre women's final, it's a dust-up between Hungary and Germany. But no Hungarians today, so a little bit easier for Germany and the rest. Germany with 3 members of the crew that took Olympic gold a couple of years ago in Beijing. Best start of all there from Portugal, with Poland and France also quickly away. The Germans now beginning to find their rhythm, and Fanny Fischer in the bow of that German flying 4, leading the way now with Caroline Leonhardt, Katrin Wagner-Augustin and Tina Dietz powering away from Spain, finishing best of the rest ahead of Portugal, and those 3 well clear of the other 6. So a very strong first day of finals for Germany, but the German squad will know that it's very much early days, with World Cup still to come in Szeged and Duisburg as we build up to the World Championships in August in Poznan.
sprint, we've seen an increase in number of athletes coming. We've got over 40 countries registered for this year, which is very, very exciting for us. A lot of developing countries like Iran, Senegal turning up, Israel. So we're in a good shape there. In canoe slalom, we're seeing a lot of other countries like Nepal turning up, and this is good. This is good for us. Togo. So the sport's looking very promising, and I think this is partly due to our development program, but also the demands of competitive sport. We're seeing more and more countries coming through and competing at the highest level. So it's good for us. So this is the first stage of the World Cup for canoe sprint in Vichy in France. We will then move on in 2 weeks' time to Szeged in Hungary, and the final will be in Duisburg in Germany. In the end of June, we will start the World Cup series for canoe slalom, which will be in Prague in Czech Republic, Lasu in Spain, which was where the Olympic Games were held for Barcelona, and finally we'll end up in Augsburg for the last race of the series in Germany. We've targeted 3 new areas for the sport. One is para-canoeing. We really believe that disabled people should be allowed to canoe, and it should be accessible as a sport to them. And we have around 24, 25 countries that are participating in canoeing. So we're trying to move them up to an elite level of sport so that they can compete at that level. Second, for us, is really important, is women canoe, which is a difficult technical aspect of our sport, but because we do it for men, we think it should be equal for women as well. So this is quite important. And the final aspect for us is we're really trying to get on the program of the Commonwealth Games, because we're on every single multi-sport program in the world except for the Commonwealth, and so we're pushing very, very hard to be involved in that one, so that canoeing is represented in every multi-sport event in the world.
Slightly brighter conditions on this Sunday afternoon for the men's 500-metre kayak final. Max Hoff on the far side hoping to add this race to the 1,000-metre success of yesterday. Gustafsson, 2 from the top in the yellow vest for Sweden. A poor night in the 1,000-metre final, looking for redemption. Another quick start, though, from Adam van Covenden, the Athens Olympic champion of 2004, and trying to say to the rest, catch me if you can, but it's very close as they come through the first half of the race. Kasper Bleibach is chasing hard, and it is Bleibach who's come through now to take Van Covenden. Also finishing very quickly is Gustafsson at the top of the picture, and he's probably got third, but it is Bleibach of Denmark who takes the victory ahead of Adam Van Covenden, nearest to you, with Gustafsson in third place.
There is less current today compared to yesterday, so I had to make a higher stroke to get the boat moving. Today you can focus a little bit more on the power and move the boat as you want.
Encouraging performance by Kasper, European champion a couple of years ago, and a better day for last year's European champion, Anders Gustafsson. Final of the Canadian singles, with 4 of yesterday's 1,000-metre principals in contention yet again. Difficult water conditions, and away we go. Pretty good start there, but the best start of all from lane 6 from the world and European champion Tizanis Haradze of Belarus in the red canoe, and he's just got the call over Vilenjek of Germany, and on the far side Menkov of Uzbekistan, who, if you remember yesterday, was disqualified for an underweight boat in the 1,000-metre final. And this is really close now. Haradze on the near side, you can just see the bow of his canoe, then Vilenjek on the far side, Menkov with closing as well, Stokalov of Russia and Brendel of Germany, but it is Haradze. Look for them to lean back in these canoes and shoot the bow across. Coming to the line now, Haradze has had the lead and he's held it all the way to the line. He shot early, but it took him there ahead of Menkov, Vilenjek, and then Stokalov and Brendel.
I am delighted to participate in this competition. Normally I run the 500 meters, but I was very motivated. I was well prepared, and I want to say a big thank you to my opponents, because we all had a very good level, and the race was really interesting.
Quick time by Haratsa, underlining the fast water conditions, 5-6 seconds quicker than his European and world winning times of last year. No German representation in the Canadian doubles final. Disappointing that, given that they won the world and European titles last year, but no less than 5 of yesterday's finalists over 1,000 metres try to do it again over 500. And a really quick start by the Russians, Yevgeny Ignatov in the bow with Ivan Shatil. They are notably quick starters, but yesterday they ran out of puff and finished only 9th, but they've got almost a canoe's length over the field now, being chased down by Belarus and also by Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan being overtaken by Belarus on the near side, but the Russians just lean back and shoot the bow forward, and I think they've got it. Russia, Azerbaijan in 3rd, Belarus just taking 2nd place. Got a turnaround in the space of 24 hours. Russia 9th yesterday over 1,000 metres. They win today. Azerbaijan, they were 7th yesterday. Now they're 3rd. Last season, Hungary were the dominant force in the women's kayak doubles over 500 metres. Danuta Kozak and Gabriela Szabo taking the world and European titles. Hungary not here, but Germany doubly represented and having a great regatta at this first World Cup of the season. And what a great first paddle stroke from Caroline Leonhardt and her partner Tina Dietz in lane 6 for Germany. A mixture of youth and experience. Caroline, an Olympic champion, a gold medalist from Mannheim. Tina Dietz, a very promising under-23, and they've got the call over the field, over the young Poles, Marta and Evelina, who take 2nd, and then just Germany's first boat, Silke Hormann and Connie Wasmuth, grabbing 3rd place ahead of Russia.
Wir hatten ja gestern schon einen sehr guten Zwischenlauf gehabt. Und ja, heute
yesterday we were already well placed, but today the weather was even worse. It was difficult to give the best of ourselves. We thought we could win, but you really had to concentrate on racing.
War ziemlich wackelig und durcheinander, aber halt im Endeffekt gut.
A lot of strength and depth in the German women's squad as the weather starts to take a turn for the worse. Now for one of the new categories to be introduced into the upcoming London Olympic 2012 Games, the Canadian singles over 200 metres. Fast and furious, and away we go. And the Russians very strongly represented by 2 former European champions in the green. That's Shatil, who's already got a gold medal this afternoon in the 500-metre Canadian doubles. But in fact, it's his teammate, Nikolai Lipkin, in the red, who's really strong. This man who won the world title in 2006 over 200 metres and was the silver medalist last year, absolutely storming away. Shatil in the green, vying for 2nd. Then next to him is Simart, the under-23 star from France, vying on the far side with Germany's Stefan Kitaj for the bronze. And I think the Frenchman's got there, but no doubt about the winner. It is Nikolai Lipkin for Russia from his teammate Ivan Shatil. Confirmation of the result, with Thomas Simart indeed taking 3rd place for France. Zanis Haratsa, who won over 500 metres earlier today, only 5th. Final of the women's individual kayak over 200 metres. It'll take less than a minute to win it. This another new category for the London 2012 Olympic Games. And Marta Valchikevich already a 2nd place in the kayak doubles earlier today should be there or thereabouts, and she's got a terrific start in that pink kayak with just above her, furthest away, is Fanny Fischer, the multi-Olympic world and European medalist, the 23-year-old from Potsdam, and they're ahead of Kitamoto of Japan, and also Joe Bridgen-Jones, the 2010 Oceania 500-meter champion. But it is the pole. It is Valkikevich who takes it from Fanny Fischer, and then just Kitamoto, I think, from Bridgen-Jones of Australia.
I'm very happy to have won. The race was really very fast because the other girls were quick. In fact, just before this race I participated in the K2 500 meters and I was really tired. So I concentrated from the beginning, and despite the very bad weather, I finally succeeded.
The 200 meters, a good start is absolutely crucial, and Marta got it absolutely right. Just about the worst conditions of the weekend for this, the final of the men's kayak pairs over 200 metres. The world champions, Belarus in 7, right next to them the world silver medalists in the red shirts of Spain in 6, and away we go. Good start by the South Africans, Rubenstein and Arto in the green and gold, but in fact it's the French, Arnaud Ibois and Sébastien Jouvet, one half of the partnership, who finished 4th yesterday over 1,000 metres, and they've got the bow of that French kayak in front now. They're the South Africans, and just beyond them in the red shirts, there are the world silver medalists. That's Cravioto and Perez of Spain, but they're being challenged on the near side by the red and white kayak there of Nielsen and Nielsen of Denmark. It's France who just get there ahead of Spain, and Denmark with just in 4th place, South Africa.
We tried to keep the same mindset we adopted in the semi-final, where we had a good feeling. We didn't make such a good start, but we tried to place our running scheme. The weather does not change things. We train in all weather conditions.
A really good job, and on this day France come out on top, but as you can see it's oh so tight, with less than a second separating the top 7. Little mind over matter required as the rain really belts down. It's miserable for the spectators, but the athletes, they'll not be bothered. They'll be focused in this, the final of the kayak pairs for women over 200 metres, and that's a good start, and a very good start by Portugal's number 2 boat, Teresa Portela and Joana Vasconcelos, who were one half of the partnership that finished in 3rd place 24 hours ago in the flying fours for women, and it is Portugal who got away best of all from Austria. Now you can just see the Portuguese in that sort of red and white kayak in the foreground, then Austria 1 away from them, and then 2 away Slovakia, that's Kmetkova and Kolova, who are no strangers to success at this distance. They're European and world bronze medalists from last season, but Portugal will not be denied. Austria takes 2nd place, and then Slovakia ahead of Portugal's number 1 boat.
Quando chegámos aqui, nós percebemos que era uma pista diferente, que tinha corrente, era bocado frio.
The weather is cold.
E então
the lake has a strong current. It is different than on other lakes.
No entanto,
it was difficult to do our best. We focused on our race, not make mistakes, and achieve our goal, despite all of these difficulties.
E foi uma boa sensação, e sentimos que com o trabalho e com dedicação e concentração conseguimos os nossos objetivos.
This This may not be an Olympic race category, but nonetheless a really nice confidence boost for the Portuguese and the Austrians. Well, that's just about it for this, the first of 3 World Cups. Thanks for your company, thanks for watching, and we look forward to you joining us again for World Cup number 2 from Szeged in Hungary.